and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Robin Zimmerman along with Luke Gawronski. Luke is a certified financial planner with the Barnum Financial Group, been with us before on various topics. Today we're going to talk about teenage finances.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And when you start talking to your teenager son, daughter, grandson, niece, nephew about savings, budgeting, and all of that. But let's start with when should you start talking with your young person?
Probably their first job or around there, when they start having income. So it's really important once they start making that income to set boundaries, or I don't know if you want to call them boundaries with your teenager. Maybe you want to set goals, short and long-term goals, and start talking to them about what that looks like when that income starts coming in.
And so normally, whether it's babysitting or like mowing lawns, something pretty simple at like 13, 14, 12?
Well, 13, 14, I think at 14, 15 is when they start getting jobs where they're going to be getting taxed on their income. And that's a great time to start, because they're gonna see taxes once they go over a certain point, even teenagers will get taxed on their income. So it's important to help them understand what's going on when that starts happening.
So what would be some of the things that you would talk to your young person about their finances and now getting paid?
Yeah, start with a budget. Introduce them to a budget, or what I would call cash flow with my clients. So add up all the money coming in from, like you said, the babysitting. I have 2 young boys. I can tell you babysitters make a lot of money.
I know they do.
So babysitting, maybe they start their own business at 15 cutting lawns. Maybe they start a job where it's a W-2 job now. They're old enough. They have taxes. So add all that up and then subtract out the outgoing cash flow. What are they paying for? Do they buy a car that they have a car payment? Maybe you told them you were going to put them on your car insurance and you want them to pick up that tab, so they have a responsibility. So just maybe they wanted to join a club that they have monthly dues on because they're making money now.
Right.
The important thing is to add that up and make sure, as a teenager especially, the cash flow is very positive. If it's negative, there's something going on. You're going to sit down with your teenager and be like, whoa, we're spending too much money here.
Right.
So,
And I was telling you, my grandson has a job, and he wants a car. And I think his parents have already put away a little bit of money, but now, he's 14, so time is short. So he needs to save, think about what you're talking about, the goal is, what that's going to cost for a used car, how much time he's got between then and what he's going to buy.
And that's how you start the savings conversation, because the savings conversation is the other really important part to this whole puzzle. And what I mean by that is our long-term and short-term goals are much different than teenagers. Keep that in mind. So you want them to have short-term goals that they're saving towards and longer-term goals.
Okay.
And then teach them where to put their money. And this is where parents can really learn too, because I think you mentioned that your grandson was putting it into a savings account. That's great, but then keep in mind when they go to college, that's going to count towards FAFSA. It's going to count towards income. It could take away from any. So what other options do you have? Go over that with your teenager. Maybe if they're working, like your grandson is, he could open up a Roth IRA and save money into that.
Wow.
That won't count towards FAFSA.
But how much money? Don't you need several thousand to open up a
If
Roth
he's
IRA?
working full-time or even part-time, they'll be making enough money that they can put away. And a lot of people don't realize that, but they can. And there are positives and negatives to that. It's not a recommendation to everyone out there listening right now. But it's a great conversation to have with your children, because that leads into investing and what are you investing inside of that Roth, and how long do you have to keep it there before you can use it. But it's just really good conversations to have with your children when they start making money.
Do you think that a young person, again, this is not off to college, but a young person should have a debit card and a credit card?
That depends on your child. Everyone's different. Like I grew up with 3 brothers, and my parents might have a different answer for each of us. But they can't get their own credit card. There's positives and minuses. They're going to put it on you before 18. So you would have to add them as a qualified, designated user for your card, which could be wonderful, because what happens is their entire credit history is your credit history on that card is going to be added to them.
I see.
So if you have great credit history and you're paying on time, you're doing them a huge favor, because they're going to get really good credit scores.
And so we can come to you for advice about this.
So when you're planning on this with your kids, I would also show them it's okay to go to people for advice. So bring them to a financial. I meet with my clients' kids all the time.
Really?
Oh, all the time, and talk about, well, what if you open a Roth or an IRA or this or save here, and some of the kids love it, some hate it, but parents know their kids, but it's good to have those and when you're talking about taxes, don't be afraid to talk to your CPA.
Right.
Bring them into the conversation. Let your kids understand taxes and how it's going to affect them in the future.
Very good. Financial lessons for our teenagers.
Yes.
Thank you, Luke. Good having you with us.
It's great being back. I always enjoy this.
Luke, Gawronski with the Barnum Financial Group, a certified financial planner. We'll see you next time.
It will do.